Hello, this is Mav T UK, and what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you the differences between some budget wood preparation tools and some expensive stuff. I'm not showing off my gear. There's a point to the whole thing, and the point is, whatever you do, don't go out, rush out and buy the expensive stuff straight away. You have to learn how to use your equipment. But let's have a quick look at what sort of equipment that you're going to need to start with and probably end up with. Okay? Welcome. Okay, well, let's start from this way and work our way in, shall we? Holterfir's classic Huntsman axe, a truly wonderful piece of equipment. I really enjoy having this. It's comes sharp from the box. It's just, you know, if you've never owned an axe before, then you need to go and buy yourself a proper axe, whether it's this one or some of the other brand names that you see. But they're just a pleasure to use, and if you've never used a proper axe, you will understand what I mean by that the first minute you use it. We're going to look at our Barco blade. Now, you see a lot of these, a lot of bushcrafters use them. There's a reason for that, because they are very, very good. We're moving on to our Barrel 21 folding bowl saw, and I cannot recommend that enough. It is expensive. On one of my videos I mentioned it's expensive, but I really, really do recommend that piece of equipment. But like I say, it is very expensive. Then we go on to my Mora collection. We have the very basic Mora knife. That's a stainless one. We have the Mora black Bushcraft knife. This is my old friend. I am now 49 years old, and I had this when I was 12 years old. This is a Mora Falcon, and I used it in my fishing kit for years and years and years. So I was ahead of the game, and I didn't even know it. So that's my pride and joy. I'm actually doing a knife sharpening course soon, and I'm going to learn how to put that edge back on it again, because it's one of the skills I'm certainly lacking, is how to maintain an edge on my equipment properly. So I'm going to get taught by some of the best. Budget saw. You can get these from supermarkets, that Asda's, Morrison's, places like that, and these are perfectly adequate for the money you pay. There's nothing wrong with that saw whatsoever. This is a longer version. I do have about 3 or 4 of the smaller versions which resemble that, but I must admit they are good for the money, and that's what I had to start with, because I couldn't really justify spending the money on that straight away. So, but let's have a look in things in comparison, not forgetting ye oldie faithful. So let's look at things one by one. Axes, £69, £6 to £10. This is an axe bought from B&Q. This is from an outdoor shop. The difference being, this is a very budget axe. It does hold a blade. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's good grip on the handle. It will process small amounts of timber for you, and it is something I used first of all when I went out into the hulu. But it is quite heavy because it's all solid metal. There are other versions out, but I mean, for a budget axe, this was okay, and it comes with a little sleeve too. So hey, you know, if you ain't got a lot of dough, there's nothing wrong with taking this out with your tool. It will chop wood and it will process timber, and you can get a good edge on it too. So don't be put off by not having an axe. If you can afford one of these to take with you, why not? There's nothing wrong with it. This one, Holterfir's classic Huntsman, rounded so as you can prepare game for it. Alright, not really going to do that with an axe, but hey, some people might. This is a tremendous axe. Tremendous axe. It just feels right the minute you pick it up. The way it's balanced, the way you can hold it, you can still do a little bit of carving with it to a degree. It's not really a carving axe, it is a wood processing axe, and I do like it. It comes with that sleeve, and it's cordage and not poppered as well, so again, it just screams quality to me, and I really do like it. But we are flying through these quickly tonight, so you know, is this better than the other one? Of course it is. It's much better. The budget saw. Will it saw your branches up to that size? Very easily. Keep going, it'll even do bigger. Good 100mm that'll do. It's okay for the money, for what you paid. I think it's about £5 for that in Asda, or maybe £6. It processes your timber, and it comes with its own scabbard as well. And if you really want to, you can hang that from your belt if you should wish to, but that's not anything I would particularly do. This, however, does not fold away. There is a bigger version. I do have the smaller ones, but this will not fold away. It does change angle, so you get a better cutting angle, but that's about it. Okay, now then, the backhoe. Everybody's got one of those, haven't they? Let's face it, there's a reason for that, because they are good. They maintain their edge. That's just as sharp as the day I first bought it, practically. And it is a very, very good tool. But again, £20 in the market, £20, £6. If you don't have £20 to spend on a saw, you really can't go far wrong with one of those. So don't feel pressured to have one just because you go into the field and everyone else has got these. It doesn't mean to say you have to have one too. Okay, if you can afford it, brilliant. If you can't afford it, have one of them. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with it. So don't be put off by not having one just because it's not this particular type. Don't be a tackle tart. I fell for the tricks. You don't have to. Bow saws. £5. £60. What's the difference? Well, you can see the Borrow 21 folds up like that, and this doesn't. Are there any difference between the two? Through functionality. They're both 21-inch blades. I can put that blade in there or that blade in there. So from a cutting perspective, there's absolutely no difference whatsoever. The only difference is that this is £60 and it folds away. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to recommend it. I strongly recommend it, because I've used this a lot now, and it is one of my favourite bushcraft tools, to the point where I go away now and sometimes I don't actually need to take my axe to process the timber, because I can just do it all with my bow saw. You would have seen that on some of the videos. I also, is that good as well, sometimes I don't even take my backhoe, but it all depends on the processing, or the wood that I'm processing, the amount that I'm processing. So I really do strongly recommend that, but again, that is an awful lot of money. It really is, and that isn't. And if you got a sleeve to protect that blade, and you can pop that in your Bergen or Daysack or pack, whatever you've got, then it is a perfectly acceptable, usable piece of kit. Don't be put off by not having that. I will definitely not buy the little sleeve that comes with this, which is another £30. That is just madness. I would not do that. So what have I got? Where's my little bag? There. That is an old Gillett chair bag, and I just put that in there with some spare blades that I carry too. So that goes in there. I ain't spending another £30 on a bag that I don't need. So that is perfectly fine. Don't feel like you can be pressured into that. That's good quality, it really is, and I do recommend it, but that works perfectly well too. If you want to get yourself out and about and enjoy yourself, this is what you need to do. First of all, you don't need that first of all. You can get that when all in good time. You can save your pennies for it and get it when you need it. Knives. I'm not a knife person. I like a sharp knife and I don't want to spend a lot of money. That is most money I've ever spent on a knife because I just like it. That's a bit shallow of me, I know, but I do like this knife. It works for me. It's good, strong, good thick blade on it, good edge. I probably would never use that sharpener, but I will use the steel on the side, and as a combination it works really well for me. And yeah, well, I actually got that a bargain. A guy from Poland was selling them, and it's not knockoff, it's genuine stuff at half the money. Shop around on the internet. You don't have to pay 70 quid for one of these. They're not worth 70 quid, but what they are worth is 35 what I paid. So there you go. That £12 War knife. It's got a particular name for it. Can't remember what it is. It's irrelevant. Remember, I've had that version ever since I was a young lad. Probably it's all you need. If you're going to be casual into your bushcraft, why not just have a cheap, simple knife? I mean, I think I bought 3 of these because I keep giving them away to my mates. They're so cheap, but they're so good. Why not buy them for your mates as prezzies? So they make really good presents. So I would say, don't go heavy into your knives to start with. You don't need to spend a lot of money to start with. Keep it cheap. You can go out into the Hulu and process the exact same timber as me using this budget stuff. 12, what's that, less than £30 there? Less than £30. And all the bushcraft equipment you ever need. It ain't going to be as good as the other stuff, but hey, you know that. But it still works, and it still works fine. The whole point of this little video was to show you that you don't need to spend mega bucks to be out and enjoy the countryside regardless of the time of year. Yeah, there is much better equipment out there, but there is affordable equipment to get you out and about to start with. That's how I started with the budget stuff. I didn't rush out and buy the more expensive stuff straight away, although I did want it, I must admit. But you don't need to. Don't go out and waste your money straight away. Get the feel for stuff. You will soon realise, and you will reach the point yourself when you feel that it's time to move up. Alright, you've got to get used to being out first. You've got to get used to being out in the stakes. You've got to get used to working with these tools, and when you start feeling comfortable with them, you then will naturally progress onto better stuff. Don't just rush out, go and spend a fortune on tools that you might not ever use again, and they'll just rust in your garage forever. So be sensible about it. Do it in stages like I did, and you'll find it a little bit more affordable and practical as well. And if you're going to make any mistakes, better to damage your cheaper stuff than it is go out and buy a £20 saw and smash it to bits on the first day, because you will be gutted, I can assure you. Hope you found that useful. It's all about the money for me, and see you next time. Bye bye.